Crunchers, in this video we are going to set the working directory, and that's all we're going to do. And it's worth a quick, very focused video because the concept is not obvious. A lot of people start getting into R trying to do things and they skip this step and they find they can't do anything, particularly if they're going to read some data in from an external source. They cannot get that done, and so they can't get anything done. So it's not an obvious concept. It's an essential concept if you're going to be reading data in. It's an easy concept. So let's just go over this concept. This is called setting the working directory. So what does it mean to set the working directory? So that means that we need to tell R, whenever you tell R to read a file into the R session, where is that file on your computer? That's what setting the working directory does. It tells R where that file is on your computer, or where you want it to look for that file. Okay, if you did some work and you created a data file in your R session and you want to save that data file to the computer disk for a permanent record, where should R write that file? Okay, that's what setting the working directory is all about. If you don't have the correct understanding about where R is working from, things will not go well. Okay, but if you do, things go pretty smoothly. So it's essential. But okay, so let's just go over it. So I'm going to the Windows File Manager. Okay, I am not in R now. I want to make that clear. I'm not in R. I'm just in the computer, and so we're browsing around the computer, and I went to my C drive. Okay, and then we're going to go to the users. Now you can go wherever you want, as long as you know where you're going and where the folder is that you want to work with. You can do whatever you want, but you can see I went to the C drive, then I went to users, then I went to my home directory, and the username for my home directory on this computer is Cheney E. Okay, and then I'm going to go to this folder called Free Crunch, which is empty now because I haven't put files there. But this is where I'm going to put data files. When we download a file from the internet and we crunch it in later examples, I'm going to be working out of this folder. Okay, so I'm going to download my data files here. When I tell R to write a file to the disk, I want it to write it in this folder. Okay, so I'm set up, and this is my intention. I want this to be the directory I'm working out of for this project. Now the only thing we need to do is we've got to go and tell R that's what we want to do. Okay, so you can see I've already run the command. Now there's two ways to do this. You can type out the command, and I'm going to do that in a minute. There's also a mouse way to do this. So the command way is just set WD, set working directory, and then like all of the R commands, we put them in the parentheses, and you can see that it will start auto completing that for you. But C users, and then that's right. I mean, that's where this file was when we were in the Windows File Manager. So just there it is. And then when you execute a command in R, if you don't see any error messages, it means the command was executed successfully. So we now have the working directory set where I want it to be set. Okay, so if I tell it to read a file, it's going to read it out of this Free Crunch folder. If I tell it to write a file, it's going to write it to the Free Crunch folder. If you ever don't remember where you set it, use the getwd command. So write that down, getwd. It will print out to the screen where the current working directory. Okay, so if you have some trouble reading in a file, oftentimes what's going on is your understanding about what the working directory is might be different from what R is set to. So that's the way to investigate. What is the working directory? So getwd is really handy. I would write that down. Okay, now how do you do it with the mouse? You go over here. You can see there's a window. I've resize these things so it might look different from yours, but over in your bottom right there's this window, and one of the tabs for this window says File. So this is your file browser in R. This is the R internal file browser. I'm going to maximize this because we're working out of it. And now if you look here, you see over on the right here, there's this three dot icon. It's not obvious. Now I am hovering over that with the mouse, and a message came up, says go to directory. That sounds pretty good. Let's go use that. So I mouse clicked with the left mouse button there, and I'm going to go to the directory. So we're going to Windows C, and I got to find, then it's the users, and then Cheney E, and I got to find that free crunch folder. Okay, and then I'm going to say open, and you can see over here it's empty because I haven't put anything there. But as we accumulate files, that someday will not be empty, and there'll be a list of files, and you can see, so you can use that, you can browse through the files that are in your R session in the computer folder. Okay, you can also go to this icon right here, this gear icon, and if you click on that, a menu option comes up, or a menu of options, and you can see one of the options is set working directory. So I'm going to press the left mouse button, and if you look in the bottom left corner of the console, you're going to see that it's going to print out the command and then execute the command to set the working directory. Okay, do you see that right there? And so that's another way you can mouse your way to set the working directory. Okay, and then again, just for thoroughness, after you do that, if you ever had a question of what is the working directory, just get WD. So that's all. I don't want to. That's all we're going to do in this video. It's essential if you want to read a file in from the computer that you and R are on the same page about what directory you are working from. Okay, and so that's it. Okay, thanks a lot, Free Crunchers, and till next time, thank you.